Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing a side-by-side comparison between the Nexus 7 and the Tab Pro 8.4. These are two of the best tablets out on the market for Android, and today we're going to find out which one is better for you. Let's take a look. Now, the first thing we always go over is look and feel. So for the Nexus 7, it's been around for a little bit now, and the look has, I'd say a little bit dated. It's very clean looking. So you have on-screen buttons only, black bezel all around. And on the back, we have this nice texture backing. Just says Nexus and Asus on it with the camera at the top. Buttons feel good, and overall, it's a really nice one-handed grip to it that feels very good overall. However, the look, I would say, could use kind of like it's a bit dated now at this point, just from different tablets we've seen now. The Note 8.4 does have definitely a different take on this. So very light, very thin design. When it comes to a tablet, it's something that definitely is, and it has the leather-like backing on the back, which is really nice and doesn't tend to have like anything like fingerprints on it, unless you have like greasy hands or something like that. The camera does have a flash on it, which is of course nice as well. And buttons, again, have a good feedback to it. Whoa. Overall, it's a really nice feel, and I think a little bit of a nicer design. Again, just because it's a bit newer compared to the Nexus. So for that reason, I would go with the look and feel for the Tab 8.4. Now, the first thing we always do before testing out web browsing is to see how the screen qualities are. So on the Nexus 7, we do have a 7-inch screen with a 1080p display, 920 by 1200, coming in at 323 pixels per inch. On the Pro 8.4, we have a 2560 by 1600 pixel screen with a 359 pixels per inch, which I believe is the top pixels per inch for tablets of this category. Now let's test out and see which one is the faster one. And this is a big website, that's why I like to go on this one, because it really strains the devices. So as we can see, neither one is a clear winner yet. And look like both of them finished, but they were just loading a section, it looks like. And hopefully we can kind of just scroll down a little bit while it's going. So the page loading is taking a little while. It just might be the Wi-Fi I have in here. For right now, let's actually just scroll up and down. And so both pretty responsive when it comes to that. Sorry, kind of hard to go on both of these at the same time. And let's try pinch to zoom. Both responsive. I would say the Nexus does have a little bit of a hiccup at times, whereas the Pro 8 does a little bit better job. And now let's try the double tap. The Nexus 7 has a little bit of a better double tap. Essentially, both are going to be really good at web browsing. Either one has a particular better side, even on the screen quality. Anything over 300 pixels per inch is going to be very legible. So overall, we'll call this one a tie, although I do always point out with Samsung devices, you do have the ability of split screen. So you can have two apps open at the same time. Other than that, though, both of them do web browsing fairly well. Now we will be testing out sound quality. Both these are using the same music player and the same song, so we're going to test out both in terms of sound quality. First, we will start off with the Nexus 7, then go to the Samsung, and then go back and forth. All right, let's try it out.
that money don't equal the price of fame. From LA to New York, Seattle to the Bay, West Coast, night flights to a while we can lay. Andrew, you crazy, down in Vegas. Going cat, after the state. I was a boy with a dream, had my head in the clouds. Now I'm sleeping first class, got a bed in the clouds. Hit my head in the clouds. Hit my pops to pick me up, and he said he was proud. King shit with a beanie on instead of a.
So hopefully you could hear it was pretty easy to tell that the Pro 8.4 definitely does have the better sound quality out of the two, which is a shame because of speaker placement. The Nexus has the more ideal stereo sound, but the Pro is just so much louder and so much clearer. Now when it comes to video quality, obviously we're going to have a little bit of an advantage with the 8.4-inch screen versus the 7-inch screen. As you can see, even though I'm trying to push this forward to kind of make it look around the same size, it's still definitely smaller. So let's try it out and see how this one does against the Tab. So really on these two screens, both look good, but you can't deny that the 8.4 just not only has a little bit more vibrancy in its colors, especially like on things like grass, it's more green, but you're definitely gonna have the ability to, of course, have things like pop-up video on your built-in videos. And you, of course, have split screen for things like YouTube. So for that reason, again, video watching will go to the Tab Pro 8.4. When it comes to the camera quality, we do see an advantage of style with the Samsung version, just because of the modes that you have in comparison to the modes that we have here, but also for the fact that we do have things like dual shot and auto night detection, just a better overall photo quality. But let's see it in actual practice. So when we actually go to the photos to see how they look, we can see right here in terms of these two, text is pretty sharp on both of them, but you can see it starts to get a little bit fuzzy as we zoom in comparison to on the Samsung. Both close though. It is not too far off, but even on little details like this grain right here on the box, I can see a little bit better on here in comparison. Again, just little things, but definitely overall both show a lot of detail when it comes to their rear cameras. Now, when we go to the color reproduction on the two, we do see almost identical, really. It's actually very close between these two on the color reproduction in terms of how they produce color. These ones are a little bit more true just because it is more of a yellow, dark yellowish gold yellow than this one, which is kind of like a brighter yellow. And on the red, it's kind of in between the two. And on the green, it's gonna be, again, pretty much right in the middle between them. So now let's take a look at the front camera. On the front camera, we can definitely see a huge difference. On this one, it's just washed out. Really can't notice almost any details, like my little scar right there. On this one, you can definitely see the details more. And again, just like things like that, you can see more so. So overall, for the front camera, it will go to the Note 8. For the rear camera, it's pretty close. Wouldn't say anyone's too much better. I would just like the color reproduction a little bit more on the Samsung, but overall, rear cameras are pretty much very similar. But the Tab Pro will take it for the feature of the front camera. Now, when it comes to gaming between these two devices, they are both really good processors and graphics cards, but overall, the Tab 8.4 just has the advantage of a more current generation in terms of both processor and graphics. So overall, this will take the better place for gaming. Not to mention, the bigger screen obviously again plays a factor. So for the better gaming experience, you will want to go with the Tab Pro 8.4. Now, when it comes to battery life, both do have pretty good battery life when the 7-inch market. But overall, the Tab Pro just is going to last a bit longer in comparison to the two. When using it overall in terms of day-to-day usage, I've definitely noticed that the Tab seems to last longer. Now the Nexus we've seen definitely lasts about the 7-hour mark on average, sometimes 8. Whereas the Tab, I would say of straight usage, so not over a couple of days, but straight usage will typically last about closer to the time of 9 hours on average. So definitely an improvement from the last generation of like the Note 8, but not so much it's to the point where the 10-hour mark is constant. But as you can see right here, 2 days, 16 hours, when you're using it here and there, these tablets will last you a long while. When it comes to extras, sadly, this is one thing that the Nexus 7 never really has any. Just like the iPad and Nexus 7, they both are standalone devices, no expandable storage or anything such as that. With the Samsung Tab Pro 8.4, you do of course have an addition of a micro SD card, which you can add up to 64 gigs of storage. You do of course have the IR blaster, but the biggest thing is the new Handcom Office. This is an amazing Office replacement. Definitely check out my video on the in-depth walkthrough for it if you're curious about it. But this is much, much better than Quick Office. I mean, Quick Office can't do even half the things that that one can. Not to mention that because Quick Office is just a Google app, you can essentially download it on this device as well. So for that reason, the extras category definitely will go to the Tab Pro 8.4. Now, when it comes to price point between these two, this is a huge difference. For the Nexus 7, it is coming in at $229, whereas the Tab Pro is $849. That means this Tab Pro is almost double the price of the Nexus 7. So you definitely have to take that into consideration when deciding between these two. For this reason, obviously the best bang for your buck would be for the Nexus 7, since it can do most of the basics that the Tab Pro 8.4 can do. All right, let's tally them up and see who won. When it comes to look and feel, overall the Galaxy Pro 8.4 just has a newer style to it and just definitely has a slimmer design when it comes to the look and feel category. For web browsing, it's really a tie. Both are great web browsers. You're not going to really go wrong with either device here. For the sound quality, of course, the speakers are just much better on the Tab Pro 8.4. On the Nexus 7, they've never just been the best sound quality, unfortunately. When it comes to movie watching, you're just going to have a better experience on 8.4, not only for the bigger and clearer screen, but specifically for the fact that you do have the ability to either do split screen or pop-up video while watching a video and doing something else. For the camera quality, rear cameras are pretty much tied, but for the front camera, there is no contest. The Tab Pro 8.4 definitely does give a better quality image. For gaming, it's going to go for the Tab Pro 8.4. This is something really about time. The Tab Pro 8.4 is just newer, so it has a better processor and graphics card for gaming. When it comes to battery life, the Tab Pro just beats it out about 2 hours longer compared to the Nexus 7 on average use for most users that are going to use it for the full day. When it comes to extras, this is again something where the Galaxy Pro takes a little bit better feel for it. You do have the micro SD card and just a really nice Office suite besides the IR blaster, of course, as well. When it comes to price point, this is where the Nexus 7 continues to shine. It is $229, such a great tablet for the price, and you really can't beat it for the price still to this day. So when we tie them all up, the Galaxy Tab Pro 8.4 does take it. Now, does this mean it's the one for you? Well, it is a better overall device, but it obviously costs almost double the price. So you are going to have to take that into consideration when making your purchase decision. Finally, this will be a much better contest when the Nexus 8 or Nexus 7 2014 edition comes out later in June or July. Hopefully, we'll find out and see which one is the best then. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Thank you for watching. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.